Good morning, everybody. Or Jay here with another War of the Visions video. And you know what? We're going to take a small break from all the Final Fantasy VII stuff that's going on, from all the new units that are coming out, and we're going to look at some older units getting some EX upgrades this week. And some of them are very popular old units. Engelbert, Fina, and then Serjes. I mean, does anybody ever care about Serjes? I don't know. We're going to care about him for about 2 minutes in this video today. And that might just be the biggest spotlight the guy's ever got. So let's look at these old units. Let's see how much stronger they're going to get. And let's see if they're maybe worth investing some of those Blossoms of Paradise into. And let's take a look at them right now. Okay, so let's start it out though with a big thank you to the members on YouTube and the patrons over on Patreon. Thank you guys so much for choosing to support the channel. This is what I do for a living, so that support means a ton to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, let's move on to talking about Fina. And I want to start with Fina because she's one of the more popular MR units from like back in the day. From back in the time when everybody was level 99. She had some cool utility with her charm bow. She has one of the better buffs in the game with cheer. But she fell behind. As MR units got 120, she was left in the dust. Her heals didn't really heal very well, and she didn't do a lot except for that one buff. But she's getting a big time upgrade. Now let's start by looking at her stats, and you can see those on the screen here. First of all, her HP is going from 1466 to 2319 at level 120. That's nice. You can see she is pretty resistant to magic, but it never really mattered before because with a base HP of 1466, she died anyway. Now maybe she can live through an attack or two. She also gains 2 agility that I think that's really important, and most importantly, her magic goes from 202, which was a total meme, up to 479, which will help her heals be significant. Now, speaking of her heals being more significant, let's go look at her upgraded skills. And this will finish telling the story about Fina. First of all, Innocent Shooter. This is a range +1 and magic plus 15% buff. Upgrades to also include 20% healing power increase. In combination with her magic upgrade from 99 to 120, this will make her into a pretty good healer. And this is something I think you should just run on her if you're playing her at 120. If we scroll down to her main job here, we can look at the rest of her upgrade. First of all, Curaga, and again, apologies for the JP translation, like I'm just using Google Auto Translate. Curaga upgrades into, I'm going to call it Superior Curaga, which is still a 210% heal, but notice how big the AoE on this heal becomes. That's a huge deal. And it's also a Suna. It dispels all status ailments except for Charm, Slow, Stop, and Doom in a huge AoE. That's really, really nice. 3 uses for 34 TP. Now keep in mind, Fina's always been somebody who could run out of TP for you, so that still might happen, but okay. Now, her job level 25 ability, this is an attack called Sparkle Shower, 165% damage with a 43% accuracy debuff for 3 turns in an AoE. Like, Fina's not an attacker, so I don't know how excited I am for that. It is a nice little accuracy debuff, so if you're running her with like Rob and some kind of light evasion team, that could be really significant. And there you go. That's Fina, and I think her EX upgrade is pretty nice. I think they did a good job on her. And if you're a newer player especially, and you want like budget Yuna or budget Ayaka or just some MR healer that can like carry your account until you get a better UR one later, Fina might be the way to go. She's worth investing in already because cheer is such a good like buff. It raises faith of your unit permanently after the fight. So Fina looking good. Let's go to Serjes next and give that dude his like 2 minutes of fame. Okay, so putting Serjes' stats on the screen. First of all, you're gonna notice like his stats were so bad at level 99, and he's an SR rarity unit, so bad stats make sense, but they get a massive upgrade to 120. His HP more than doubles from 1660 to 3568. His attack more than doubles from 163 to 424. Like, those are actually kind of respectable stat lines for an SR unit. That's pretty cool. His agility stays flat at 59, so he is still going to be slow, but he also gains 2 defense down there on his defense, and Serjes is kind of somebody who like was maybe supposed to be a tank. I don't know. His resistances aren't very good. He is 5% resistant to slash, but he remains minus 30 to strike and magic. So he's just gonna die to either of those still. But it is a massive upgrade in his stats. Let's look at his skills real quick though, and actually see like what he got. Like, is he still just a meme, or is there a little bit more going on there? Alright, here's his stats. First of all, the Secret of Piercing upgrades into the Secret of Flying Instep. You know, great. Who knows what they'll translate that to. But it's a Pierce Attack 15 buff that now gets defense debuff resistance by 100. So he will be immune to defense debuffs. Keep in mind, though, that is not defense penetration. Defense penetration will still wreck him. Okay, if we scroll down to his main job, we can look at the rest of his EX upgrades. Sharp Spear, which is the main job Lancer buff, like really core to their kit, gets a nice upgrade for him. It keeps the 38% attack plus 38% critical rate buff and adds 20 defense and spirit. Like, that's a very, very significant buff for somebody who is now turning into maybe like a defensive based bruiser. That 20 spirit ain't going to help this dude live through magic. He's negative 30 to magic resist, so he's still going to die to that. But maybe if you just find yourself in a position where you want to run Ice Piercing Serjes, you could have a little defense. Then, his job level 25 ability, Leap Flight, he will jump to target panel and hit an across-based AoE, a lot like what UR Glaciella does. Deals 200% damage with a 25% chance to inflict slow for 3 turns to the targets, and he gets regen on himself. So, like, is Serjes 120 actually good? Probably not. Is there a situation maybe somewhere down the road where you might want to use him for fun? Yeah, maybe if you're playing in like one of my Friday Night Fights tournaments, we have some weird rule set where Serjes like perfectly fits your team. I think maybe he could be like a high defense, anti-physical bruiser, but probably he's the worst one of the bunch here. Now, let's talk about maybe the best one of the bunch for these three, and that's Engelbert. So let's go to him next. So, Engelbert. Now, they missed out on the opportunity to give him like a turtle skin, like where he's actually a turtle, because I think that like encapsulates what Engelbert is. A very, very slow, very heavy anti-physical unit, and he's still going to kind of be that. However, I think with his EX job, they hit him in all the right spots to keep him like thematically a turtle, but now he's like Super Turtle Engelbert? Okay, you'll see what I'm talking about. Let's put his stats on the screen and take a look. So, his HP from 99 to 120 goes from 3768 to 5805. 5805 is a very, very healthy, base HP pool there. His attack gets a nice buff from 246 to 375, and if you remember Engelbert from back in the day, he could do a surprising amount of damage. With that boost to the damage right there, and with like the light sword being in the game now, Engelbert might be a respectable hitter. Remember, he has strike damage in his kit, which is always kind of nice. Now, really importantly, his agility got a significant buff. 48 was laughable even back in the day. Like, he was slow before we had fast units. He's really slow now, but going from 48 to 54, he remains slow, but it's not like dead turtle on the side of the road slow. It's like a live turtle on the side of the road slow. So that is nice. Other than that, his dexterity and luck gets a little bit of a buff, and not a lot else changes as far as his stats go. But we need to look at his skills to really see like exactly what they did for him to bring him into the modern day of the game. So here you see it. He got great skill upgrades. Paladin Blessing. This was defense and HP. This is like a staple Engelbert support ability. It gains healing power plus 20. Now, you might think to yourself, that's kind of weird. It's going to make a little bit more sense when we go down further and look at the rest of Engelbert's upgrades. So let's go do that. We're going to go to his main job here. And here you go. The most important thing Engelbert got, like by far the most important thing that makes him relevant again, is his Immortal Fighting Spirit, which is his chance to ignore fatal damage, gets buffed in 2 very significant ways. The first and most significant way is he now gains 12 hate from casting this. This gives Engelbert access to hate that is 2 things. Like, look, I want to be really clear. This is a big buff in 2 ways. First way, it allows him to not run Paladin Subjob to get access to Taunting Blade. Like, Taunting Blade was a big time crutch that like you had to just deal with Engelbert. It was his only way of gaining hate, and you had to run paladin subjob. Like, let's scroll down a little bit here. There it is, a track blade. You had to run it. And since it costs 44 AP, you also almost had to run bells on Engelbert just to get him to use it. Now, because Immortal Supremacy here, or whatever it's called in Global, gives you the hate without having to use AP or the Paladin subjob, you have the chance to run him on his Monk subjob now to get access to that striking damage. Also, it is a 2-use skill now, so in something like Guild Wars, he can use it in Fight 1 and in Fight 2. That's huge. This is a huge buff for Engelbert. It's one of the best EX upgrades for a skill, maybe that we've seen. Then, his job level 25 ability is an attack called Revenge Drain in JP. It is a light element typeless attack. So it's not slashing, it's just light element. It gives 50 defense pin to himself, does 175% damage, and heals him, right? So increased damage as HP decreases, plus absorb 50% of the damage dealt. No range on it, but it's pretty cheap at 22 AP, and gives him access to a way of self-healing, which makes sense when you think about the buff he got all the way up here to his Paladin's Blessing. Now, with Engelbert, I wanted to do just a little bit more, so I went ahead and built just a quick light element team that you can see on the screen here. In fact, let me move it more to the center of the screen. This is something I threw together in about 2 seconds. It's Engelbert, Yuna, and Swimsuit Kilfei. You could swap out Fina, or you could swap out Yuna or Swimsuit Kilfei for almost anyone else, but I thought this made a lot of sense. Now, check out Engelbert's gear and build here. I gave him Pod, Brigandine Armor, and the Slash Resistance TMR Sword from Silma. For Vision cards, I'm having him run White Snow Guard, right, which gives him Slash Resist, Missile Resist. It does lower his HP a bit, but I cover that in another way. And importantly, it gives him AoE resistance. I'm mixing that with Solidus to cover the HP decrease that he's taking and give him more slash resistance. I'm also giving Odin to this group to give single target resistance 20. So when you combine all of those things, plus Esper, Odin here, running some slash and missile resist on it, you end up with an Engelbert that looks something like this. 10,000 HP, 661 attack, very, very nice. 80 agility, a lot of that coming from Odin, but that's okay. 80, you can deal with 80 agility. 61 defense, very, very nice. 78% slash resist, 50% missile resist. And then critically, to cover defense pin and resistance penetration, he also has in this build AoE resistance of 25 and single target attack resistance of 28. So I've layered a whole bunch of different physical defenses to Engelbert. Now, magic is still going to wreck this guy. Black Rose Helena is still probably just going to eat Engelbert's lunch. But even if there's one magic unit mixed into the other team, he has a mortal spirit that will gain him his hate and keep him alive if Helena comes out there and like 1 or 2 shots him. If you can kill her, I think he has the potential of being like just not taking very much damage from physical units at all. And that gives him a spot in the game that I'm really excited about. So, okay, that's the video. I hope this little preview for these new EX units was fun. I really like it when they EX the old units because a lot of the times, just from random polls and stuff that I've done, I have like 500 mind spheres for some of these people. So it's a really, really easy EX as long as I just have some Blossoms of Paradise to invest in them. And if you're in that boat, I think at least Engelbert and Fina are well worth it. So, hey guys, thank you for watching this video. If you want to support the channel and you need some Amazon coins, please use my Amazon coin affiliate link. And actually, if you're going to buy anything off Amazon, click on my Amazon coin affiliate link, go to Amazon, buy anything, and I get a hookup from that. So that's really cool. Yeah, I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.